A community grieving tonight as a transgender woman is shot and killed.
Tonight, the FBI is digging deeper into the murder of a transgender Wayne State University student.
Friends of a murdered transgender woman say she was a college
African-American transgender women are facing a lot of violence, and it needs to come to an end.
Being a minority and a transgender is by far and away the most at-risk population for becoming a victim of a crime.
She was working the streets of Detroit offering sex.
The murder of a transgender woman in Tampa.
Fresno police are investigating a brutal attack charged with killing a transgender woman.
More transgender homicides were recorded in 2015 in the U.S. than ever before.
Advocates for the transgender community say this is a growing problem.
This is a state of emergency.
People are calling this a national crisis.
She just wanted to embrace her life.
The attack was savage.
Investigators disproportionately affecting transgender women of color.
And shot in
They've
the
been
back.
brutalized and marginalized for so long.
Other black
Police report that referred to her as a
Transgender woman who was stabbed to death. Some are calling it a hate crime.
They're killing us.
I want justice for the transgender community.
Shade Schuler, 22 years old. Her body was found in a field in Dallas.
Transgender issues have never been more topical, and there's a real need to keep stories like Miss Shade's in the spotlight. And my goal with In the Tall Grass was to bring Shade's story and the story of all of the trans women who've been murdered across the US to a wider audience.
I plant these seeds for justice. I plant these seeds for the one who have gone on, but yet they remain. For we believe that as long as you say their name, they exist.
In the Tall Grass, I believe, is an important story simply because the need for awareness in regards to trans people is so great right now.
This project actually tells a real story, and it actually addresses a real problem that transgender people face.
As a trans woman of color, it speaks to my heart. The fact that, to my knowledge, this will be the first stage play that kind of focuses on the topic will, I believe, just help transgender people. Telling the stories of these women that have gone through those things, it just, it makes me feel good, and it gives me hope and promise that things will get better.
I've accepted advances from individuals, but I didn't even know their name because I needed that validation, The level through which we transition, we become very vulnerable. When this happened, when this Shade Schuler murder happened, around that time there was a lot of murders of transgender people happening at that time, and amazingly enough, not a lot of people were aware of it nor cared.
I just finished working on another verbatim project in London, and moving to Dallas and seeing Shade's story in the press, I felt verbatim theatre would allow me to immerse myself in the transgender community here in Dallas and to meet people either directly linked to Shade's story or kind of on the fringes and kind of feeling Shade's story throughout the city.
Putting it on stage and having characters that are portraying the real life stories of individuals kind of makes it more raw and authentic.
The actors stand on stage, talk directly to the audience. There's an engagement and an intimacy and an immediacy about that actually really brings this subject to life in a way that I think is more powerful. Really, I don't know of any other plays that are telling these stories of trans women of colour.
When a person is sitting up there telling you of their experiences while they were out prostituting or, their experiences with drug use and things like that, you can't help but relate in some type of way to that.
It was sticky, and there were pieces of hair.
I saw where the maggots were still feeding. The flies were still there.
And this was like almost 2 weeks since they found her body.
Dallas is a conservative place, and our transgender community is almost invisible to them. And so when things like this happen, it gets swept under the rug instead of getting the attention that it should get, and that's a problem.
Theatre is a great medium for this project because of the humanity that it brings to the piece, the fact that it tells the stories of people who are often forgotten and marginalised.
We have our Caitlyn Jenners that make the transgender life seem, you know, like it's a big, famous, fun thing. And that's not what it is at all. It's, for most of us, it's serious life, it's hard life, it's dangerous life. You know what I'm saying? And I think this kind of play will show that.
I think the real take-home for the audience here is a question of awareness. There's a lovely quote in the play that says, if you don't know a trans woman, get to know one. Get to love one, and I think that's really important.
You know, being from the trans community, it was more than I would have been able to, you know, tell people in my words. It's 100% authentic. Couldn't get any better than this. I want everybody to see this and to read about it and know about it. We need everybody to be aware of the trans community of color and the trans murders that's taking place. This is real life grit, real world story. That's pretty much what this is.